Lauderdale. Good evening, Mayor and Commissioners and Administrators. I want to begin by addressing comments quoted in yesterday's Sun Sentinel by City Manager Hebert, is it? Thank you. From the article, quote, City Manager David Hebert said the zoning rules, and this pertains to the All Saints Mission soup kitchen. City Manager David Hebert said the zoning rules are intended to allow the city to develop, quote, in a manner that will make the citizens and the businesses proud. Everyone needs to follow the law. This is not a moral issue. This is a law. It doesn't matter if you're running a bank or you're running a food bank, unquote. To that, I just want to quickly respond with a quote from Anatole France, who long ago said, "The law, in its majestic equality, forbids the rich as well as the poor to sleep under bridges, to steal bread, and to beg in the street." Now, going back to the points that Mr. Hebert made, first, regardless of whether it was intended as an insult, it's demeaning to imply that sharing food with hungry folks is an act we shouldn't feel good about. But that might actually be less demeaning than equating banks which ripped off middle-class Americans to the tune of trillions in equity with food banks which share food with needy people. On the other hand, what should not make citizens and business owners proud, in fact, what should fill all of us with shame and disgust, is the legal denial of food to hungry people. Now, with regard to Mr. Hebert's disconnection of such a law from any moral component, that's simply and atrociously outside the margins of reason. The history of the country, among many things good and bad, is a history of people of good conscience, people with a strong moral foundation resisting unconscionable laws. Slavery was legal, as was the denial of voting rights to all citizens except the landowning class in early U.S. history. Women couldn't legally vote until 1919. Blacks were legally denied the vote until after the Civil War. Ugly laws, sundown laws, Jim Crow, Chinese exclusion laws, Japanese internment during World War II, Native American genocide and marginalization to the reservation, laws denying equality to gay and trans people, all laws, all morally reprehensible, and many of them, thankfully, swept into the dustbin of history because moral people organized to oppress them, to oppose them. So for anyone to suggest that because something is the law, it defies moral scrutiny is ridiculous. And in this case, it's all the more ridiculous since mandates to feed the hungry and poor are fundamental to every major religious tradition. So what we're talking about here is undeniably a moral issue. On the other hand, if you insist on focusing just on matters of law, you might consider the state's Religious Freedom Restoration Act, which already has been put to very good use to protect the rights of faith-based people and to institutions to share food with the hungry and the poor. The U.S. Constitution has been put to good use regarding such matters as well. Now I want to just close with a caveat. I'm trying to rush this. Speaking again of the law, the federal government, through HUD, is now promoting a policy whereby impediments to helping the homeless will result in loss of funding for vital homeless programs. Best practices will be rewarded. The Department of Justice is now also weighing in on the side of opposing laws that criminalize the homeless and their advocates. So please, folks, be warned. You could wind up on the wrong side of a federal lawsuit, but you will definitely wind up on the wrong side of at least one, if not multiple, civil suits if you continue down this path. I'm almost done. When Fort Lauderdale shut down...
Because you're running over.
Two more...
Sure, take about 10 more seconds.
I appreciate it. When Fort Lauderdale shut down the food sharings of Arnold Abbott last year, the media firestorm and public backlash went global immediately. As Fort Lauderdale's neighbor, you're on the verge of again bringing shame to Broward County, ostensibly the most liberal county in the state. If you don't find a reasonable...
Because I'll get in trouble with everyone else if I let you roll over.
I understand.
Thank you.
I'll email.
Give us your comments, please. Yeah.
Sure.